Good evening. It is your coach, Carla Nicole. So, I wanted to talk today about making some solutions instead of always feeling like we're getting nowhere. And it has been a very, very heavy season right now, unfortunately. And so, because of course, I've talked about it a couple times, but I don't know if I've been really clear about this season right now is the winter solstice. And so, right now, there's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of feelings going on. Thank you for joining. And if you have, be sure to tell me where you are. Tell me your name. Say hello. I'm sipping on some ginger tea and trying to remind you not to forget to have self-love. That's very important. What are you sipping on this evening? Talk to me. Say hello. It's okay. I don't bite. Right? So, um, I'm understanding or feeling it energetically. Whew. That so many people are just all over the place. just, just all over the place. I can feel it spiritually. And so I just wanted to be the coach this evening to gift you with something that I think, no, not that I think, that I know can help you. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Coach Carla Nicole, and my mission while I'm here on the planet is to guide you with purpose, teach you the importance of knowing why you are here on the planet, helping you not to waste time. That's all we have is our time and our present. Teaching you not to waste it. Teaching you to be more intentional while you're here. And helping you to realize that, listen, I get it. It's a lot going on right now. Everybody's in a frenzy and stuff, and it's fires and crazy and all kinds of stuff is going on. Hi, guys. Tell me where you're from. I'm so glad you joined tonight because I'm trying to help tonight. I'm not just here to talk to me. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to help you. I understand that it is not easy time right now, but let me just explain something really fast. We are in the winter solstice right now. So understand, because we're in this season, it's a lot of heaviness, it's a lot going on emotionally, and I want to help you so that you can get a little more settled and a little more in alignment spiritually and more in alignment with the season that we're in. We are in the winter solstice. Please understand it has a high impact on emotions, on feelings, on what you got going on how you're manifesting things. This is the season right now. But outside of that, we're not just going to talk about the winter solstice tonight. We are going to talk about solutions. How about that? Tell me who you are. Wave at me. Say hello. Tell me how you feel. Make sure to share this video. Also, bring your friends in because listen, we're all having some issues going on. I know. I energetically feel it. Okay? So listen, I am Coach Carla Nicole. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget, please, to hit the notification bell so you get notified when I go live. I felt moved today to go live because I understand so many people are going through so much stuff and it's overwhelming. So let me help you. Please, let me help you. Here's what we're going to talk about this evening. I created a mantra called SMILE. My mantra stands for study, meditate, inspire, laugh, and elevate. That is the acronym for smile, okay? My mantra I live by every day. Here's the actual ebook, the Smile Mantra. I want you to know that you can actually purchase this and get it in your email right now. It's $25 if you would like to get this book. It's life-changing. I'm here to advise you. It's short and sweet, to the point, but it will change your life. But if you just get it and leave it in your email and you don't apply any of these steps, it's not going to help you. Sorry. Nothing happens without you doing something. Okay? Let's get started. So, let's talk about the challenges that's going on right now. Shall we? Right now, I'm seeing that there's a lot going on with anxiety, worry, concern, frustration. If you look like this in your car, if you're feeling heavy and feeling very frustrated, you're not alone. This is very, very common around this time. We are in the winter solstice, like I said earlier. Because of that, my loves, you are feeling bombarded with heaviness, concerns, and not to mention the weather isn't all that great either. So it's a lot of heavy weight, okay? And so I wanted to talk about some ways that we can kind of help with the heaviness, and how can we get some solutions now without feeling like I can't afford to pay for a coach, I can't pay for a therapist, I can't go to the doctor, I have all these expenses, everything is too much. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm giving this up for free. So, I hope that you take advantage of it. And I hope you listen and heed what I'm telling you. Here's 5 ways to best calm your anxiety. Okay? Are you ready? I don't know if you're aware, but one of the greatest ways to soothe worry, to create a more settled relief in your soul, is something that you can use no matter where you are, no matter what you're dealing with, and no matter what you've been through. It is called deep breathing. Now, believe it or not, we naturally breathe heavy when we're angry or upset or frustrated, not realizing that our breath is the number one thing that we can use to reduce anxiety. You have your own way in your spirit and soul to reduce your angst, anxiety, fear, worry. All of that can be reduced just by you changing your breath patterns. When we take deep breaths, and I'm talking about really deep, when we inhale as deep as we can, all the way to the top, and hold it, you will feel a lightheadedness because you haven't done it before. You may feel like you're almost high, actually. You'll get that real woozy feeling, almost like, am I on a cloud or what is this? You can actually feel euphoric just in deep breathing. Believe it or not. This will help you. You can use this right after you get off of here. Heck, you can deep breathe while I'm on here talking. You can use it right now. Everything I'm giving you this evening, you can apply right now. You don't have to wait. Okay? Capiche? So inhale as deep as you can. Hold it. And then when you release the breath, say ha. So it's going to feel funny at first. But once you become more engaged with your own human way to reduce anxiety and worry, you will realize that everything outside of you that causes you aggravation, agitation, getting you upset, and all of that can be eliminated right now, just off of you changing your breath patterns. And you don't have to take no pill for this. All you have to do is just inhale deep, say ha, inhale deep, and say ha, and remove yourself. We have too much stuff going on. Problem is, we don't want to own the fact that we have a lot going on right now. Everything is all over the place. So in order to get some type of subtlety, in order to get some type of peace, in order to get some type of calmness, yes, deep breathe. I don't know if you've ever meditated before or not. However, meditation is also a part of the breath and the breathing technique that can help you to reduce the anxiety, the worry, the fear, the stress. Meditation. Listen, one thing I hear a lot when I'm coaching is they constantly tell me, I can't meditate, I don't have any time. It's like, okay, I get it. You have no time to meditate. Okay. Well, do you bathe every day? That's my question. And when they tell me yes, I'm like, okay. So in that time frame, you can actually meditate. Yes, it can be done. Yes, it is matter of fact. It's more amazing when you do in the shower because you feel the water, you feel the steam, you feel it, and it helps to reduce a lot of our anguish, agitation, aggravation, and things that we cannot control. Our problem in our human race is we have a problem with letting go of things that we can't control. We have to control everything. But the truth is, the only thing you can control is you. Regardless of how you feel or what you think or who you're with or if you had your child or not, it doesn't matter. You can't control another human being. You cannot control a scenario or situation. Only thing you can control is you. And right here, I just gave you two ways, meditation and deep breathing. Those two things you can do today to help you to reduce your worry, your fear, and your upset. Trust me, I use it all the time. And it doesn't cost me anything but time. There is no pill I have to take. There is no doctor I have to see. I can do it on my own. So guess what? I can use breathing techniques and meditation as often as I want. Don't forget to self-love. What you sipping on? Let me know. Okay, the third thing. It's what we tell ourselves. You know that inside of us? You know that inner voice? The ones we always say, I should have listened to my first mind, and oh my God, I talked to myself, and guess what? You do talk to yourself. And often, sometimes you're talking to yourself without even moving your mouth. Your inner dialogue, right? And in your inner dialogue, heed what I'm saying. Let yourself be aware of what's going on around you. And what I mean by be aware is look around. See what it is that you have no control over. And understand, I can't control this. It's what it is. After understanding that, and that's fine, realize that what I can control is what I tell myself in this situation. Tell yourself, this too shall pass. When you tell yourself that, you stop getting caught up in the moment to where you feel out of control. Because no matter what, no matter how upsetting it is, no matter what extreme it is, no matter what's going on, you can't control it. It's life. And right now, there's a lot of stuff not one person could fix those fires. It was out of a lot of people's control. And it was a lot of firemen out there, and they were thinking, oh my God, this is bigger than what we planned to deal with. Yes. And sometimes problems are that big. So, what we tell ourselves inside of our being at the time we're going through something is, this too shall pass. So there's no sense in me losing control or losing myself or losing my class and acting a fool, because I can't control it. Remember that. Always think back to the fires. Not everybody could stop it. Matter of fact, nobody could stop it, unfortunately. So we have to sit back and think about, what can we control? And in that understanding, okay, what I will do is I will sit back and understand I can only control myself. Only me. There's nothing else that I can control. I can't control another human being. I can't control the situation. I can't control the economy. I can't control if my car breaks down or not. I can't control if any major situation happens. I can't control it. But what I can control is what I say inside to me. And when you tell yourself, this too shall pass, I will be okay, you don't realize how much it really soothes the mind. It really helps to reduce the stress, and it really helps to get you back into balance, even when you have to now come up with strategies to problem solve. This is the time to just sit back and say, look, I can't control this, but what I can control, I will do. But I do realize that this too shall pass. When I tell myself that, then I can just find myself more appreciative and grateful for being here on the planet while I'm here. Even in the most unbelievable scenarios, tell yourself, I'll be okay. This too shall pass. Okay? Now, also, I don't know if you know or not, but I also create jewelry. And one of the best pieces of jewelry to wear when you feel anxiety is tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is a stone that helps to reduce anxiety. So if you can find tiger's eye gemstones, wear them, especially now. Especially when you're feeling uneasy, unsettled, you're feeling a lot of anxiety. Tiger's eyes are very good for helping to reduce the anguish and the pain and the upset. It helps to reduce it. I create this jewelry, but I'm just telling you, if you can't get jewelry from me, look for some tiger's eye at this time. because tiger's eye helps to reduce anxiety. Okay? Tiger's eye is great for reducing anxiety. Okay? Now, the last thing for creating a more calming situation for you is by eliminating drama in your life. Now, sometimes we enjoy the drama. Sometimes drama is our vice. We enjoy it. We love all that back and forth and this and that and all that madness. But at the time of the winter solstice and in the season when we got a lot of heaviness going on, I would strongly suggest that you try to reduce down dramatic people, dramatic scenarios. If you have relationships that are just not healthy, try to avoid them at all costs. Stay away from all that madness, man. It's not the time for that at all. Not right now. And we can find ourselves more frustrated when we just really want to have peace. But do we? Because sometimes the drama is so much fun because it's unpredictable. It's challenging to watch. It's exciting. You know, we can see people get beat up. We can go and fight chicks and fight men and all this stuff. And it's like, no, that's not going to get you to a peaceful space. It's going to keep you feeling a lot of anguish. And right now, it's not the time. In the winter solstice, you want to have peace, my love, peace. And then once you get that, you can find yourself in more joy and excitement. So, again, the best calming techniques are as follows. You have your deep breathing. You have meditation. You have say to yourself, this too shall pass. Wear tiger's eye jewelry. And also, without a shadow of a doubt, make sure to get rid of the dramatics and drama that goes on. So, I'm just giving you guys a break. Let's see what everybody's saying. Make sure to subscribe, share the video. Don't forget to relax and realize that you can really, truly change how you're feeling. It just takes some strategy. It takes some time. It takes some consideration on your end. Chime in. Tell me who you are. Where are you from? What's on your heart and mind? We're just sipping this evening. This is so ad-libbed. I'm not doing anything prepared per se, but I'm just really trying to help people. I know right now it's really heavy. It's a lot going on. But sometimes we just need each other. And we need each other to lean on. We do. And so that's why I'm here. So again, don't forget to share the video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. Okay. Now, we went over the calming techniques because it's very important. Being calm and reducing all the stress, it really takes some strategy and time. But if we do it and we're more, I would say, pretty much strategic, we can actually sit down and come up with a plan on how to reduce those stressors without feeling like it's really too much and overwhelming. We can do it. It just takes some strategy and it takes some time. Now, let's talk about these grocery prices. Can we? Shall we? Groceries. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about their groceries. Oh my God, their groceries are getting more and more expensive. The higher the prices. And it's getting to be overwhelming just to feed your family, and I get it. So I thought I would help you to try to come up with ways to reduce that grocery bill, shall we? So first off, how many people are in your home? Let's think about that first. How many people are in your home? That's first. And the reason you want to know this is because everybody's diet's different, everybody's appetite's different, and some people can eat all day long. They love to snack, they love to eat meals, then they love to have appetizers and evening snacks and all kinds of stuff. So there are people that are kind of munchy. They munch a lot. Then other people might only really eat a meal like once a day or maybe every now and then. But to really reduce this grocery issue, we have to come up with plans. So again, we have to look at how can we slash these grocery prices? What do we need to do? So evaluate your food intake. How many meals a day do you eat? That's first. And in between those times, what snacks do you need as fillers to kind of keep your appetite suppressed? Now, I always suggest that you do healthy choices, but I get it. I know everybody doesn't eat healthily, but if you can be mindful that sometimes there's certain foods that can actually stretch you a little farther just because of the ingredients in them. If you eat a lot of snacks that are not healthy, you're going to find yourself eating and eating and eating and eating because you're not actually feeding yourself. You're just eating to eat. And unfortunately, a lot of people are doing this. So, evaluate your food intake. How many times do you eat a day? And what do you eat? So that you can start slashing these bills. These grocery bills are outrageous and they're just getting it out more and more and more and more outrageous. So how can we reduce it? What do we need to do? So first, figure out your food intake. How much are you eating a day? Then don't forget the weekends, because it's not just 5 days you have to consider. You also have to consider the weekends. And the weekends, we usually eat even more because we're at home. So consider that. So make sure to just really write down and plan your meals. It's very, very strategic, but it's also very, very, it's a great way to reduce those costs. Now, when you budget for your groceries, make sure that you understand which foods are usually not as costly. I'm going to explain to you that fruits and vegetables usually aren't as costly, and you can get a lot more fruits and vegetables than you may want to. But I'm telling you, you can really slash your grocery cost if you would take a lot more fruit and vegetable options and put them in the place of chips and unhealthy snacks, because those are going to get spiked up in cost because of why? Demand of those things. So the chips, the goodies, all of those cookies and stuff are going to spike because right now they know people are wanting to feel better, and so they're going to want to eat a lot of junk food. For why? Because they want to feel good. They just want that sweet taste, and you can get all of that from grapefruits. I'm just suggesting. Not telling you how to eat. I'm just suggesting that you can get that same, sugar high that you want to get from fruits and you won't have to pay as much, as an example. Okay? 3, meal prep. If you would prep out your meals, like on a Sunday, and you already have your meals already prepared, you will find that you will be most of the time more mindful of your portions. So, you know that you're going to have to go to work 5 days out of the week. Already have your meal preps already done and ready. So now when you do this, it reduces down all of that buying out when you're at work, because now you have your food prep for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're all good and ready to go. Grab your container when you get ready to go to work, and you're out. And then you've slashed a big cost, because every time you go for lunch to a Starbucks, or you go to, Chick-fil-A or wherever, every time you go there for lunch, it's costing you. So if you would meal prep and already have your containers ready for that week, you will find that you will slash your grocery cost, because you're not spending as much outside of your meals. Got it? Number 4, design weekly menus. Weekly or monthly menus are cool. I think they're fun, because if you can do a menu, you can actually make it more fun to eat and challenge yourself preparing for what you want to have for the week. Give yourself more range of things that you can eat. Have a different approach of how you can enjoy it without feeling like, oh, it's just the same thing over and over. Because we don't enjoy eating everything the same, and everything starts getting bland, and we start getting bored with eating, and then we start desiring all the bad foods. This is why this happens. Not enough variety, not enough change. We're going to want to resort back to bad vices and bad habits. It's just human nature. Okay? And be strategic as to what grocery stores to shop at. Be strategic. So what that means is, be open to try different grocery stores. I might not be from where you are, but we have like an Aldi, we have like Kroger, we have Meijer, we have different, grocery stores. But be open to try other stores to kind of see which store seems to be better that week for a certain cost. Because of the high demand on food, people are really rushing out and spending a lot more money than they maybe have to, unless they go around and start clipping coupons and checking out and seeing what place to go to might be cheaper here or more there. And you'll find that sometimes if you just look and pay attention, this is the same item. And yet, if I go to a convenience mart, they want to charge me $4 for it. But if I get out of my car, turn it off, and go in the store and pick it up, it's $2. So I'm saving myself 50%. It's the convenience. So we also have to be mindful that we should start slashing our being spoiled and having people do for us, and just cutting back on that and saying, I will get out of the car if it's going to actually save me money. Okay? So these are the 5 ways to slash your groceries. Grocery costs are a little bit expensive right now, and these are the greatest ways to start slashing. And again, I don't think it's on here, but don't forget to clip coupons and check out the weekly sales, because grocery stores are trying to help, but they also have to make money. And the spike of food is going up on them. So they have to, unfortunately, spike the food up on you. It's just what it is. And so I'm just trying to help you to understand. Unfortunately, this is not easy, but this is life, unfortunately. Okay? So, again, we are going through some challenges. And I understand that a lot of times we are struggling with bills, struggling with heat bills, we're struggling with groceries, we're struggling with anxiety because we're worried about a lot of things. And so guess who is going to be the first person to take on the raft of all the anger that you're trying to not have but yet have on the inside? Anyone want to guess? Who's taking on all the anger is your lover. The person you say you love oh so much is the one that's taking the most brunt of the effects of all of these things going on. So the anxiety, the frustration, the worry, the higher cost in food, and all of that impacts attitude, impacts feelings, causes for us to feel unappreciated and feel really quick to anger. We just get really a quick attitude because we don't have it to do. Not realizing that because of the fact that you are struggling financially, or you're having issues with, just basic needs like groceries and everything else, you're feeling frustrated because of the fact that this is going on. Well, unfortunately, your lover is taking the brunt of most of it. Sad but true. Your lover is taking the brunt of it. Your lover is feeling away. And unfortunately, that's the one that's feeling the most aggravated and agitated. So now, let's talk about better loving techniques. How can we love better? Well, the first way to start loving better is by firstly changing our beliefs. So, if I'm honest, this is usually the hardest part in relationships, that tends to be the most crucial scenarios in relationships, for sure. The most crucial and critical issues in relationships are beliefs. And I'm not necessarily talking about religious beliefs or familial beliefs, but I'm talking about the beliefs that and expectations you have for what you think you should be receiving while in a relationship. There's a lot of unsaid words, and there's a lot of words that are said that maybe shouldn't be during this time. And so, more oftentimes than not, I have to really be the narrator to critique how couples are reacting, responding, overreacting about certain things that they're not happy about while being in their relationship. And so I'm trying to encourage them to change their back and forth, because it really is critical when you stay bound to the back and forth, bound to the agitation and aggravation, and I want this and you don't understand me and all of those things. And a lot of times we don't understand each other because we're very angry during this time frame. So let's talk about changing how we see it. We have to, I'm telling you, you got to change how you see it. One of the problems that we have when we're in love affairs is we don't realize that our belief on how we think our love should look like versus what it is, 9 times out of 10 is completely different. And when there's a difference in how we see it versus how it is, it kills intimacy. So we first have to work on our mindset. We first have to work on getting more rooted in reality versus getting so caught up in what everybody else has. Okay? That's first. Secondly, build friendships. Okay, so friendships are important while being in a relationship because we do need someone that outside of ourselves can really help us to maintain a decency, a mindfulness while in a relationship. And oftentimes, if we don't have someone we can really talk to about scenarios or how we feel, and then have someone that actually not just cares about me, but cares about him and the he and I together. That's vital. When you have confidants that you're talking to or talking about challenges you're dealing with in your love affairs, it is vital that you have a confidant that likes you, likes your lover, and likes you and your lover together. It is catastrophic if you have a cheerleader as a friend while you're talking about your lover and what he's not doing and how you feel, and you got the rah-rah over here like, yeah, absolutely, you're right. And now your feelings are superseded because you feel away. You're feeling this way and you have someone to back you up. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. You want to have, if you get any confidants while you're in your love affairs, especially now, because you know all this stuff is going on. There's a lot of chaos on the planet. So that energy is just everywhere. So if you don't have a confidant that you can be honest with and talk to, that's going to not just see it your way, but have a balanced view and actually likes the you and he or you and she together, then you're at a better, you have a better shot at actually surviving. A lot of times we don't realize that we can be at the brink of giving up and saying bye to our lover that we shouldn't be. We might just be in a moment, but we can let that moment and just run with it without having a confidant sitting us down and saying, well, wait a minute. Now, Jeremy isn't all that bad now, Sarah. I get that you're upset. I get that you feel the way about what's going on. But let's be honest here. Him not doing such and such doesn't necessarily mean you have to just let him go. That doesn't make sense at all. And when you do that, because you don't just want to be, a cheerleader for her to get off on her bitterness, but you want to be like, no, let's get back to balance. He's an asset to you. He's the father of your kids. He's the man in your life. You don't want to just up and leave him because you're feeling something right now and angry. We all have our moments, but it's not the time to just leave. Let me explain something to you. It's vitally important that you have someone, a confidant, that you can be real with and be like, listen, Jeremy was doing this and that, and your friend is like, okay, I can see how Jeremy is doing that. Maybe that's not a good thing, but let's look at the flip side. Maybe he's doing it because of this. Have you ever thought to think it's maybe this? What about this? See, because when we're in something and we're frustrated about our man or whatever, or you're mad about your girl, you're only seeing it your way, one dimensional. You don't want to hear nothing else. And so we get these peers or get in peer groups that only see it one way. And a lot of times they help to endorse you leaving them alone rather than really sitting back and being like, this is really a good person. I really like Jeremy. I don't want to see Sarah and Jeremy split. I really want them to still work it out. And I will help them. Even in the storms, I still want to see them get through this because I like them together. When you have that, hold on to it. Don't allow jealousy to come in and just cause you to not want to have outside friendships, because sometimes those are the ones that help you stay together. So again, we're talking about better loving here. Better loving. Not just about, oh my God, I just want to have a great relationship. That's fine, but you got to have strategy. Everything isn't just cookie cutter. You got to have people that really like you two together. Can I be honest? I had my sister came over, my play sister came over here one time, mad as hell, and she came in my home, and we ended up laughing and talking, and she was just really fed up and all this stuff. Well, I like her and her man together. And she was telling me her story and how she felt and all this stuff. I said, let's go ahead and order our Casanos pizza. Let's sit down and chat and talk about it. Okay. Yes, girl, yes. And then I sat her down and said, listen, at the end of the day, you don't want to do that. It doesn't make sense to walk away from your love affair. Stay with him. I understand you're frustrated and all that, but I'm going to need for you to stick together. Okay? Capiche? And then after all of that, make sure you don't get so caught up in the little things. If you're all about what's going on and stuff like that, I'm like, you need to get busy on you. Yes, you've been together forever, but at this point, it don't make sense. She came in my home, spent the night, felt away at the brink, and left out of here feeling like a whole new person. I restored it. She could have came in here and I could be like, yeah, get rid of them. Sign the papers. Yes. But no. That don't make no sense. No. We're not doing that. What we're going to do is we're going to look at this for what it is, and we're going to move on from this. This is silly. And that's what you need. And if you want better loving in your relationships, you have to have those in your back pocket that are going to say, hey, look, I love y'all two together. I know y'all may be going through something, but hey, let's try to fix this, okay? Capiche? Let's work this out. And it works, trust me. I've actually seen it work. And they're still together to this day. But let me just tell you, it's not easy. We all have our challenges in our love affairs. Nothing's all a walk in a park. It's not. We have our challenges. However, when you have people that really care about you and really care about him or her and really, really care about the you and him or you and her, then you have something. Don't give that up. Stick to that. Okay? And then, oh, yes, study the opposing view. Okay, so make sure you share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And what are you sipping on? Tell me what you got going on. What you sipping on? What are you sipping on this evening? I'm sipping on ginger tea and kava. I love it. Keeps me well balanced. It keeps me feeling refreshed. I love it. Okay? All right. So, study the opposing view. Now listen, this is not easy to do, okay? Once we have an opinion or once we have a certainty in our spirit of what we think we know and what we think we stand on and how we see it, we don't want to hear any opposing views. We are not trying to listen to it, nor do we want to see it either. And because of this, in relationships, it causes for there to be a lot of back and forth arguments and discontent. However, when you become more open to hearing someone else seeing something different than you, it not only is good for your relationship, it is actually most of the time healthy for you to mentally grow and mature. One of the greatest things about this lifetime is that our minds have the ability to grow. Okay? However, where we falter is we have a tendency to not want to get involved with someone that sees something different than us, because we want to be right all the time. We want to be able to say, I know what I'm talking about. And that's fine. However, when it comes down to it, when you're in a love affair, having an opposing view actually helps you to see things from a different perspective. When you see things from a different perspective, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to convert to that way of thinking. But what that does do is it allows you to open up to understanding other views so that you can broaden your mindset, open up your awareness, get a different perspective on things. When we get so set on our positioning or set on our mindset, we can't go anywhere else and we can't grow because we're only stuck in seeing something our way better than no way. Problem is, we want to be able to listen and hear and then try to relate to, oh, you see it that way. Okay, I didn't get it at first, but now I see why you see it that way. Actually take the journey of where they came from to where they are. Actually learn to hear their actual mental thinking on why they think the way they do. This, my love, changes everything. It actually helps intimacy, because you don't want a lover that thinks just like you. You want a lover that has outside thinking, not just like yours. And the reason why you want to have this is because when you have a lover that thinks differently, you actually can build a balance, and you actually can help to support your own way of thinking without feeling like you don't have any say or any input. Allow for there to be a difference of opinion and a different way of thinking and seeing it. It's okay. You don't have to be argumentative. You can just listen. But don't just listen while aggravated. Listen and be open to hearing it. There's a difference, because we can listen and be aggravated and not hear anything. But when you listen and are open to hearing something that's outside of the way you see it, you actually can learn to see something a different way. Okay? And last but not least, if you are a person that's really tired of singledom, been single for a long time, and you feel like, I'm kind of open to dating again or whatever, let somebody know. This doesn't just happen by happenstance. If you want something, you have to say you want it. Manifesting comes by saying what you want. If you really want a relationship, why are you holding back telling people that's what you want? Tell somebody. Nobody knows that you want a relationship but you. But you just want to hope that the UPS man dropping off a delivery is going to be your husband. I mean, no, that's not how it happens. What you want to do is start putting it out there that you are interested in being invited into someone's life again. Not saying you want to get married again, because maybe that's not what you're trying to do. But if you're wanting to have a partnership, you're wanting to have a male friend, when I was growing up, and I was young, so I'm in my 50s now, but when I was young, I saw a lot of my, my elder aunts and uncles and stuff, they lost their spouse. They would have lady or man friends that would take them out and have, extravaganzas and stuff. I'm confused as to why in today's situationships here, there's a whole lot of havoc. Just make it simple. If you're not trying to marry again, or you're not trying to move in with somebody, or you just want to have somebody to spend time with, keep it simple. But if you want that, if you want some engagement, if you want some relationship, it is okay, but you got to first admit it to you that you want it. It's not going to happen just by happenstance. If you really want a relationship, go ahead and let people know so that you can be that you're on the market. Nobody knows until you say something. So I'm just saying, consider telling someone, hey, I'm looking for a relationship. I like to be in a relationship. You know anybody that might be single, or decent guy that, is kind of alone and would like to have a woman in his space? I mean, what do you know? But unless we say something, nothing ever happens. And then days become weeks, become months, become years that you don't have a male counterpart or someone you're spending time with. But in your heart, you really kind of do. You kind of want that. Okay, well then you have to admit it to you first. Once you admit it to you, then you can tell peers, friends, people that you know, or people that might know people, hey, I'm kind of interested in meeting someone. I like to have a lady friend, or I would like to, have me a male friend to spend some time with. I would like to be taken out on occasion, or whatever you're trying to do. Admit it to you first. You're not going to get that until you say what it is you want. We have to be honest and upfront with ourselves first. Because here's what's true. The relationships we end up having, and let's be honest, the ones we get sometimes don't look like what we thought was going to be. But a lot of times we get these relationships that don't look anything like what we had in our mind. And the reason is because we are not clear to ourselves as to what it is we want. You have to get, I'm talking about real specific as to what it is you really want in a solid relationship. What are your deal breakers, and know them now. Stop all this back and forth. It's too much. Life's too short for this. Enjoy it while we got it. When you still got your looks and you're sharp and you got a mindset, you know how to make decisions. I mean, you're a powerful man or woman. Why are you hesitant? I don't understand. Just enjoy. It doesn't have to be a marriage. It doesn't have to be. You can design it the way you want it. Because guess what? You're not the only person on the planet that wants what you want. There's other people that want it that way too. They just haven't been clear with themselves either. So once you get clear with you and you say, this is what I really want in my next affair that I'm going to have, I want it to be just like this. You can, guess what? Any potential men or women that come in your space, you can be crystal clear. This is what it is. And this is what I like to have. And if they're on board, then they say, hey, I'm open to that. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Okay. If not, we can be still friends. We don't got to get rid of people because they don't want to see it my way. But why do we have to get rid of people all the time? Maybe we just keep them around, but they don't have to be in our space like that. But we just start throwing people away. No, just okay. You're not that to me. It's okay. I'm not gonna stop talking to you because we don't meet we don't have meeting of the minds here. I'm just gonna go ahead and be okay with how we do it. And then, once I get to the space of knowing exactly what it is I want, I can articulate it with no problem. Comes very easy. And then guess what we have? We now have a better loving affair. Better loving. It's not hard. Very simple. Start changing your beliefs. Like I said, it's very simple. Stop changing your beliefs. Stop getting all caught up in what you think you want and know exactly what it is you desire. And then once you get to that space, you understand, oh, this isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. No, because when you're clear, you can actually express what it is you want. And then that other person is clear. So now they're either on or they're not. Simple here. It's not hard. Problem is we make things so complicated. We make things so tough. It's like we don't have to do that. Let's just say what it is we want to ourselves first. Practice it on you. You know what I'm saying? It's not a controversy. I'm not going to do this, and this when clearly I know that's not what I want. If I don't want to squeeze myself back in a white dress and go down anybody's aisle, I'm not doing it. Period. I don't care how nice it is. But if I want to have a man in my life, or a few of them, fine, so be it. Or if you're a gentleman and you want to have ladies come in and out, fine. Just be upfront and honest with you first. You will manifest exactly what you want when you're clear with you first. Once you have that in place, it keeps it very easy to know exactly how to convey it and explain it to the lover you're interested in. Or the lovers. I don't know what you got going on. But I'm just saying, if you're clear about it to you, keeps it simple. It's not hard. We make things more difficult than we have to. If we're just honest with self, we can be honest with other people. Problem is we love to lie to ourselves. I don't want no man. Oh, that's a headache. I don't want no man. All the while in your cold bed, frustrated. Talking about I really do kind of want one. But I don't want all the headache. And then say that. Say what it is. You want a man, you just don't want the headache. Okay. So what is the headache? Be clear. This is the problem. We always say, I don't want that. I don't want to fool with all that. I ain't got all that to do. Oh, is that so? Then why are you over here shivering in that cold bed then? I'm just asking. Let's be honest. With us first. You can't be half-assing how you feel to yourself and then wonder why men aren't telling you the truth. What do you expect? You're not telling yourself the truth. You're not being honest with yourself. You want a man to be here and do this and be in your life and be in your space, but you don't want them all like that now. You don't want them to do this and this and this, but you want them to do this and this and this. It's like, well, girl, you better be clear about what it is you want, because a lot of times us women will say what we want and then what we don't want, and then a man will come in your life and say, okay, what is it you see? You're telling him what you think he wants to hear, but you're not telling him all the truth. And then mad because he's not compliant. Well, you didn't even give him the whole truth, because you half gave the truth to yourself. Come on, man. We got to do better. Again, remember I said it comes down to better loving. If we want to love better, we got to do self-work first. Want that man to take care of you. And yes, girl, yes. I want him to be over here doing this and doing that. Is that so? Because what I'm seeing you're telling men is not matching. Because you're saying one thing, but you're doing another. That's confusing and conflicting. And then men are like, I don't have this to do. And then men are fed up. Like, I'm not fooling with women like that. I'll get me an escort. And they were like, oh my gosh. Why? Girl, please. Mixed signals. That's why. Half truths. That's why. Not being upfront. That's why. Just keeping it real. Let me take a look and see what's being said here. I don't want to not see what's talked about. Oh, Corey says I look like Anita Baker. Okay. Well, okay. Mr. 313. What happens when only one party desires to be exclusive and the other doesn't? Some people only want portions of a relationship, not the full gamut. Wow, great question. What do we do when someone wants exclusive and the other one doesn't? Okay, shall we get started? I didn't know I was going down this rabbit hole this evening, but let's talk about it. I love this. I love this. I love this. Welcome, Mr. 313. I love it. So, let's talk about exclusivity, shall we? Exclusivity is, I always say, is evolved into exclusivity. It isn't that we tell each other we are going to be just with each other. It evolves into us being just exclusive with each other. So if we are saying or conveying to each other that we want it only exclusive, we're actually tanking it all together. Let me explain. In real, wholesome, honest, monogamous relationships, they evolve into monogamy. They do not sit down and discuss that we're going to be monogamous and this is how it's going to be and we're going to do it this way. And if one goes out on the other, then this is going to be the consequences. That's not the real, true, exclusive, wholesome, real monogamous relationships. However, that's what we see a lot of times. People are spending a lot of time talking about cheating and this and that. But if you are going outside of a relationship, you're not exclusive with them. So, if you want exclusivity with said person, and that said person is not wanting exclusivity with you, it is okay. But honesty has to be upheld in this understanding. Because let me explain something. Sometimes when we want something and we desire something from someone, that's because they are our person. They are enough for us. As an example, he's all I need. I don't need nothing else. I don't need no side piece. I don't need nothing. He's all I need. Or she's it. Being with her forever and all, I'm good. However, it may not be mutual. If it's not mutual, then you are not their person. If that's the case, that's what it is. But when you sit in the reality of understanding that, then you must then make a decision. Am I okay with understanding that this person is not monogamous or not? Here's what's true. Someone could be monogamous and end up poly with someone else. Or someone can be poly and end up monogamy with someone else. We are always changing in our hearts, minds, and souls. We oftentimes believe that this is what we want right now and in our present time. This is what I desire. I only want to be with you, or that person only wants to be with you. Whatever the case is, that's fine. However, if it's not really mutual, then it's not that. Here's what else is the case. When you evolve into monogamy, you just are. What I mean by that is you are in each other's space so much that there is no room for someone else. It doesn't mean that you are monogamous or that this is what you sat down and decided. No, this is what you are. And because that's what you have become, you guys have so much fulfillment in what you're doing, in that engagement, in that energetic field. You just are in awe. You are overwhelmed. You are okay in it. And you're fulfilled. See, here's the thing. A lot of times we get confused, but monogamy comes from being full. When we're full off of food, we don't keep eating. 9 times out of 10, once you're full, you don't keep going out and eating. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable to keep eating when clearly you are full. This is why when we're full, we're like, oh, I don't want anything else. Thanks. No, I don't want anything. I don't want anything else to drink. I don't want anything else to eat. I'm good. When you are full in your relationship, you're just, that person is your source. It isn't because of an agreement. It is because of what you have become. In the you and she, or you and he, you guys have just built this enormous amount of energetic field with each other that you guys just can't get enough. And there's no room for nobody else, just to be honest. So remember I said earlier that if you are a poly person and you stand on it, I am poly. Listen, I am poly. That is what I am. And you get a hold to somebody that is your person, guess what, Miss Polly or Mr. Polly? You might not have no more room, even if you are. And it's not going to be that type of poly to where, that type of mono to where it's rule-based. You guys are just in each other's space all the time. And there's no more room. You ain't got no time. You're up each other's in space. Y'all are doing the most. So there's nowhere else someone can fit in. So it is what it is. So it has to be that it evolves. And a lot of times we want to manipulate it, or I really want this person just with me. Here's what the secret is. You ready for the secret? The secret is real easy. Get on your purpose. Drive with that. Because it doesn't matter if someone is not wanting to be all exclusive with you, but you want to be all exclusive with them. It's okay. But when they're not in your space and you're busy on your purpose, you're busy building other connections, you're busy fulfilling why you're here with the time you got, what they do out of your space is not your business. And once you get to that, you're like, man, even if I evolve into monogamy, it's cool. But if I don't, it's still cool. Because guess what? I'm fulfilled. There's nothing more amazing than having a whole life with or without a person in it. And that comes from knowing why you're here and what you're here to do. That changes everything. And then when you are involved and you do spend time and you are connecting to someone, it's flowing and you're in sync, then it doesn't matter. We're not forcing anything. We're just in it together. And then when we agree, listen, I am enjoying you, you're enjoying me, we are good. Once you have that understanding and once you get it together, you realize that, man, we've been doing this a long time. Time has flown. You've been in my life a long time, and I didn't realize that we're just not, it's just not, it's just not going to change. When we get out of concern about how our other person sees it, we'll realize that it doesn't even matter. Because if you spiritually ask your God or how you see it, if you ask to have everything that you need supplied, everything that you need will be supplied. And here's what's deep. It may or may not be the person you want to be exclusive with right now, or they want you exclusive, but you're really kind of still open to other lovers. You will find that that'll just fade away. And then how you want to flow will flow accordingly. It's just challenging sometimes because we really, really want to have solid relationships, but sometimes we try to manifest so much stuff because we want stuff to be our way, the way we see it, how we want to do it, how we want to see it. And unfortunately, we mess things up. So I hope I answered your question. Yes, this is something that can be done. It has to evolve into it. Monogamy and poly is not really necessarily something you sit down and discuss. It's just what you evolve and become. Hope I helped you on that. Let me see what you said here. I'm so glad. Yeah, I see that. Well, again, it's hard. Let me be honest. It's hard for someone that's purposeless to get it. Oftentimes um, we want someone to be our person, and unfortunately, they're just, we're just not it to them. And we can't expect that someone feels exactly the same as we do. And we can't expect that their life experiences are going to be shared the same as we do. So, for instance, if you have several connections in your life and you are well traveled and you have a lot of different, friends that, you've been kind of involved with, as far as just, you might just have connections. Someone that doesn't understand that has a hard time swallowing that, because they don't understand that true love comes in its own form. And here's what else is deep, is if you want to have a poly relationship, you have to study how mono works, and you have to be open to listen to it. Listening to monogamy and how it works really from a effective way, then you have to be able to hear it and learn it. I say all the time, you can be a poly person and love it all day and want to stay in it. But if you don't know nothing about mono, you're going to have a hard time in poly relationships, Because in your poly relationships, you're still going to be one-on-one with each of your lovers. It's still a mono going on inside the poly. Because you're going to have moments where it's just you and she or you and he. So, say for instance, you got this poly thing going on and you know nothing about mono, you're going to find yourself like really handicapped. Because monogamy requires for there to be a lot of understanding and being open to change. Also, being open to monotony. That's what monogamy is. It's very monotonous. It's in and out, in and out. You're going here, you're doing this, very routine, back and forth, and doing this and doing that. But it's not full of adventure. Poly is adventurous because you have different lovers, you got different places you're going, you got different things you're doing, you got different ways of seeing it, and so you have an openness and a freedom, of course. However, the challenge is a lot of times people don't want to admit, I have to learn about polyamory or polygamy in order to coach. I had to study it, both of them. I didn't come up from that. I came up from complete monogamous family and all that and knowing how it works functionally. However, I had to be open to understanding it. I had to sit down with some real polygamous men and talk to me. Let me hear how you see it. Let me understand it. How does it work? Explain it to me. And then I was like, okay, I get it now. And then I understood it because I had to see outside of my own frame of mind. I'm like this. I'm talking about my family. My whole family was monogamous. That's all I knew. And it wasn't the toxic kind either. They all stayed married. They all cool. So I didn't know nothing. I'm just like this. I come out in the real world like, what you talking about, Polly? What? What is this? Excuse me? What is all this? And then I had to decide, well, when you go into coaching and you're trying to help people to guide in this lifetime, how are you going to talk to them about these different relationship styles? I was like, well, I put them in two categories, functional or dysfunctional. So now I don't care how you do it. I just care if it's functional or dysfunctional. If it's functional, then that means it's working well. If it's dysfunctional, then that's not working well, and we need to change strategy. We need to craft it a different way, or get a different set of partners, or change up some things. Look at things differently so that we can make sure it's more manageable, so it's not hell on wheels while you're involved. And then being honest with self again. Again, I say, polygamous men, you better learn about monogamy. Because that one woman, she has her different times that she changes. It's facts. One woman goes through her changes, her attitudes, her seasons of different feminine pillars. There's all kinds of things going on with a woman. So yes, this is one woman, yes. But the woman you started with isn't the woman you end with. It's true. So we have to know how to work different personalities, even in monogamy. And then when you're in poly relationships, you got to know how to deal one-on-one and be consistent in it and be fruitful with it and then be honest in it. Again, you think ain't no jealousy in poly? You crazy. I don't care what they tell me. They can tell me all kinds of stuff. Oh, poly is just this and this. I get it, but I know there's jealousy in it. You can't tell me otherwise. They're human beings. There's going to be stuff. It's not perfect. None of them are. However, if we can get them functional, then I can help build you a phenomenon that you're able to enjoy while you're here. Who wants to be in misery? Nobody wants that. They would much rather be like, okay, while I'm in my solid relationship, whichever way it is, I want to be able to enjoy it. I don't want to come home to hell every day. I don't want to come home to back and forth all the time. I want to be able to enjoy while I'm here what we got going on. Some of us don't understand that it takes more than just getting so engulfed in which side we're on. No. Take the titles and let them go. Then you engage. You allow. You don't put no sticklers down and you can't this and you're better that and and I'm this and all that. Hell no. We are. We don't have to talk about what we are. We just are. Once we understand that, then it's simple. Okay, so I come through, we go over here, we do this, we do that, we're good. Yes, okay. And now we have a rhythm. The law of vibration, there's a rhythm, right? Nothing's ever still. So the law of vibration says we have to have a rhythm. We have to be in a dance at all times while we're together. So if we're in a dance and you're doing tango, I'm doing salsa, we're all stepping on each other's feet. We're not in rhythm. Okay, so this isn't working. So what do we need to do to get in the same, let's get in the same dance so we can stop stepping on each other's feet so we can get to balance. And then we just build it from there. It's very simple. But it's not always easy because there's so much prejudice and so much programming that went in our heads as young that has caused us to be so limited in how we see it. But once we get down to understanding that, oh my goodness, you know, I can have a solid relationship. And it's so solid, it's not even complicated. We just are. We don't have a label. Matter of fact, we got rid of all that. And now we're able to flow, and now we're able to just enjoy each other. Now we're able to relate to each other. Now all of this I own you stuff is gone. See, we oftentimes think we own another person. Your genitals are connected to you. There's a reason for that. Just as such as mine are connected to me. There's a reason for that. So we got to stop thinking that someone else's genitals we control. We don't. No matter how much we love them. It doesn't matter. We don't get to control it. They get to do what they want with it. Whether we want it to be that or not. But once we get out of that thinking and we say, what you do outside of my space is not my business. And I love you no less. Now let me get back to my purpose. You will find that the person that you have spent hours, sleepless nights over isn't going nowhere. Because a lot of times energetically we are pulling and pushing for something that we don't have to do. We're forcing it because of our programming and because of how we want it to be, versus allowing it to become in its wholeness on its own. I hope this is I hope I'm making sense for you to understand it. Just to give you that raw truth is that a lot of times we're so hung up on poly or mono or what are we, or are we going to sit down and talk about what we are? Let's go out to eat and let's go on a trip and what are we doing and all that stuff. Just be. Just be. And you'll find, man, all those stressors I put myself through. If that woman really cares about you, whether you're open to other women, I'm going to tell you what. If you tell her the truth, first you got to sit down in your own personal sexual truth. I tell my clients this all the time. Sit down and be honest with yourself about your sexual truth. What is it you need? Not talking about wants, because wants come and change all the time. What is it that you need in your sex life? Once you're honest with you about your sex life and you know your sexual truth, you can be so upfront and honest to your lover about what it is. Once you can, like I said earlier, once you can convey what that is, that other lover has the decision to make. They can either be like, look, this is what I am. I am this. I'm not talking about poly or mono. I'm just saying I am a sexually adventurous person or man or woman, whatever. I'm sexually adventurous. That's a part of me. I do living soul profile readings. You can get a whole report and we can look at all of this information just off of the report alone, and I can give you even more deeper details. But in the meantime, before you get your report, I'll just tell you personally, I am a 1 for my moon archetype. And in my moon archetype, I am very much a soul promoter. So because of that, in my love affairs, I want to help build that person up to be their higher self. So that's my part. However, when I got with different lovers over time, I realizing that my soul promoter side of me was always encouraging them to be their higher self. However, they were very challenged by how I was always outgoing. I don't water myself down because I'm in a relationship. I don't. However, a lot of times we do, because we fear that our lover or lovers are going to feel a way about our vibrancy, our energetic prowess. Listen, please. No, it is okay. Be you. A lot of times they get jealous because they're not aware of their own. They fear to bring that out in themselves, but you're an example of what they need to be. So again, in the living soul guidance system, I was able to learn that about myself, and I realized, oh my God, I was a soul promoter, and because of that, in my love affairs, this is where I was coming from in that space. But also, I know my sexual truth, so I'm able to express it to my lover with no problem. He got it. Okay. Then he can express his sexual truth. But again, you can't have that openness if you can't be honest with self first. We have to sit down and talk to self. How am I in this department? What am I really? I'm talking about in my purest state. Before all masturbation, before everything. When I came to be, what is my sexual truth? In my purest state. Even men, you have your pure state. You do. What are you in your sexual self? Once you get to studying that and investigating your own self and wondering and exploring that, you start to realize, oh damn, okay, this is what my real sexual needs are. So because of that, let me understand that. So now when you are in a relationship or with a lady, you can tell her, this is where I'm at. This is who I am. Who are you? And if she can't answer it, she'll be like, oh, I don't know. Ooh, I'm not sure what I am. She might be like, I need to study this. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of information like this because we were always taught differently about intimacy, and everything was, these scare tactics and all these prejudices about it and everything else. But once we get down to this grown folk conversation, I always tell gentlemen and women, know your sexual truth in its purest form. When you first came into knowing of your sexual self, who are you? Before your sexual experiences, who are you? What did you feel? When did you feel you were most aroused? What aroused you? All of these questions, ask yourself. Explore you. Because when you do this, it changes everything. Because now you're not upsetting someone else. You're bringing them into your world, and now they can start to explore themselves to get to their world. So now you can merge and become what you're going to become. without all this, am I mono, am I poly, we're going to be together and not, what is this and what is that? All of that stuff is heavy. It really is. And it embodies so much agitation and aggravation and cheating and all this other stuff. That stuff is so outlandish when you can really have solid, beautiful love affairs. This is why I created the Better Loving. This is why I created Better Loving discussions. Because I want us to get back to just having real, solid love affairs without all this madness going on. We can do it. Trust me, we can. Problem is we don't know how because we got so much going on. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But let me see what else she said. Yeah, so I'm a soul promoter. Yeah, definitely. That's what I found out when I got my living soul um, report. I learned a lot about me just from my birth date. And because of that, I learned that, we have 4 archetypes. We have our moon archetype, we have our sun archetype, our earth archetype, and then our whole living soul archetype. And it is powerful with how much I learned about me just from my birth date alone. And it's helped me now. I wish I would have had this, when I was, young, because I probably would have navigated a lot differently in love affairs. But I had to experience so much so that I could coach. A lot of my life was to learn so that I could be in the human experience so that I could guide other people and so that I could advance people out of what they've got going on without being judgmental and caring about them. So again, it takes a lot to really get here, but join my Patreon. I have a Patreon, so I would love for you to come over, be a Patreon member, and you can join my Patreon, become a Living Soul member. It's like $15 a month, and you'll get a Living Soul, so much information on the Living Soul. And then not only that, you can just join on my Patreon where you're just my member for $5 a month, and you're just coming on there. You're seeing all my different exclusive information that I provide to my Patreon members, or you can just join it for free. It doesn't have to be all that. You can just join it for free too. So again, I'm really big about encouraging. Tonight I just wanted to come on here and just encourage everybody. I know it's tough. Everybody kind of wants love, but they just don't know where to start, and sometimes with whom they're with, they just don't get it. But sometimes we just need to change strategy. That's all. It doesn't always require for us to change people. Sometimes we need to change strategy. That's all. And just, you can always reach out to me. My phone number is 844-5-WISDOM. We can do a whole Zoom call for $75 for 45 minutes. We can talk about what you need to do to get your stuff a little more in order, and then we can build it from there. I do these coaching calls and I enjoy them. I just love it. I love coaching, but I also realize that a lot of people are really struggling. So I just wanted to give problem solves tonight. Help people to not feel so bombarded with, just heaviness if they don't have to. So I'm going to put my Patreon in here. You'll have my 800 number. Please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I'm very reachable. I'm very big about encouraging all people to just really join my Patreon, because I'm really going to gift you there a lot of what I give, and just help you out. I know it's not easy. And then I would really like you to join my chat on there, because you're asking some really solid questions that we can take it to the community over on Patreon and help them, because you're not the only one going through this. It's a challenge. So again, I'll put the Patreon information in here. But like I said, you can also call me 844-5-WISDOM, extension 0, and we can talk, okay? So listen, guys, I have really talked tonight. I didn't plan on doing all that, but my grandson is getting ready to get picked up by his mama, my daughter, and I am going to relax. But yes, I wanted to make sure to kind of ease you guys' havoc and headaches and frustration. Again, I am a Living Soul profile reader, so if you want to get a Living Soul report, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will put the links in here so you can get a Living Soul report. And it just, all I need is your birthday, and we can talk about what your living soul is going to show you. The living soul is pretty awesome. And then go on my YouTube and look at all my other videos. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I have over 650 videos on my YouTube. You can go to sleep with me and just, I got so much stuff. So I appreciate everybody being here, guys. I'm glad I helped you out, Mr. 313. I appreciate you. You must be in Detroit, am I right? Michigan? I have family there. Good people from Michigan. Good people. I appreciate you so much. So you guys have a great evening. And you take care. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. You have a good night. Bye, guys.
Oh, so if they